Hi, I'm Doug, your tech support representative here at Atlantic British, and what I'd like to do is introduce our coolant hose kit for the LR3. This is the 4.4 V8. This is all part of our Repair and Maintenance Academy, and here at Atlantic British we recommend that you change the hoses over on your Land Rover every 105,000 miles. Reason being is they are all rubber base, and over a period of time not only do they dry up externally, but internally, due to the flow of coolant, can actually wear them out and take material away. So over 105,000 miles, they can wear down to a point where they become very soft and can fatigue and can even burst. So to prevent a breakdown on the road, we definitely recommend you change these every 105,000. Now, with the kit, and if you go online, you can actually access, download, and print this same copy, and this is all of our maintenances and recommendations. And you will find the coolant hose and thermostat kit, which includes 6 hoses, the thermostat, and the O-ring. And it's under the title or the part number, Cool Kit 100. You can find this right in our website. And essentially what you're going to get is your upper and lower radiator hose, upper vent hose, heater hoses, and cross tubes. You'll also get the thermostat, which essentially has to be assembled in the housing, which we'll show you how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the locations of all these hoses, how they attach to the engine, and how to assemble the thermostat in the housing. Alright, so we've shown you the kit, and so what we've done is laid out the hoses in a general location so we can show you the application. One thing I want to show you, or actually the two things we're going to show you, is essentially before you can even start to replace the hoses, obviously we've got to drain the cooling system. And that consists of nothing more than remove the cap. And you're also going to back off that bleeder screw, and you can just back it off until it's loose. It won't come out, but it'll sit in there, and you can just leave it loose, and this allows the system to breathe. And what I want to show you is a removable plug that's down at the bottom of the radiator on the passenger side. And you'll need to take that bottom shield off of the corner there so you can access it, which when you put the vehicle up in the air, it's nothing more than 4 plastic pop rivets that come right out, and you can take this shield right out, which will give you easy access to it. So if we can bring the camera around, we're going to show you exactly where that is. Right, so what I've done is I've got my little pointer screwdriver in there and sort of wiggling it around so you can get an idea where the base is. And you'll see that there's a octagon shaped nut. It's almost like a nut in the side of the radiator facing the back of the radiator. And as I said, from underneath with that little corner shield out of the way, you've got really easy access. That'll drain the whole system. You want to put a catch pan underneath that. And remember, some coolants can be poisonous, can be toxic, so you want to dispose of it properly. Most automotive centers will take used oil, used coolant and whatnot, so it's disposed of right. So essentially what we have is a layout of a cooling system, and where we're going to start, I guess, would be from the passenger side. Now all these clamps on this are a squeeze clamp design. You can use a regular pair of water pump pliers, you can use a pair of slip joint pliers. I find that there are pliers out there that have notches cut in the ends. They're made specifically for this kind of clamp. They make it very easy, but I will show you one more tool that will make it very easy, because some of the clamps aren't exactly out in the open, but I will show you. It's nothing more than a pair of pliers with a cable and then a bracket on the end that contracts when you squeeze the pliers. And you simply hook these right over these. You squeeze this down, and you'll see you have a locking mechanism here. So you squeeze this down until it locks, and that holds the clamp in place. Work the clamp off. And then if the hose itself is rather difficult coming off, you can always cut them off, slice them with a razor blade, and peel them off with a screwdriver. You're not going to use the hose anyway, so don't worry about doing damage to it. But just trying to give you some ideas that'll make the job a little bit easier. Now, as we described earlier, we've got a number of different hoses on here. Obviously, you have one large hose that comes off the top outlet of the intake manifold down to the oil cooler, which will be these 2 hoses right here, and then bottom hole the radiator. On the top, you have your vent hose, which attaches to the top of the tank, This line runs under and attaches to the throttle body, and this one to the top of the radiator. Hence, so while you're filling the system, everything vents up through this hose and vents into the tank. Slide that out of the way. You have a cross hose, and this is your feed hose. Attaches to the bottom of the tank. This attaches right up to the thermostat attachment. This pipe runs along. Now this is the pipe that clamps to the actually front of the hub bracket for the outer belt, or outer accessory belt. And then this hose, which runs back to the heater hoses, you will see have quick click disconnects. So you want to shoot a little penetrating oil or whatnot on there, let them sit for a minute, and you can reach in, squeeze those tabs and slide those off. You'll find there's a mounting bracket right here where there's a bolt that runs in through the side that will run through this hole. So you're going to detach that bolt so you can take the hose out. And then essentially what will happen is this attaches to the bottom hose of this heater hose assembly, and then you have your upper hose, your upper radiator hose, which also has the nipple that attaches to the heater hose. So you have one whole assembly here that eventually is going to be going in. So that's pretty much the hoses that you're going to be replacing on these, and they do recommend you do them on a regular interval, anytime around 100,000 miles, 90,000 miles. We actually have it in our maintenance and repair kits so that you'll see what the recommended mileage is. But there's nothing worse than having an old hose burst while you're on the road, and of course they're always going to break at the most inopportune time, so it's good to do them on a regular basis. It's a little afternoon job. It's really not that bad. Just getting the clamps, cut the hoses. Access really isn't all that bad. If you want to know how to get to this point where we have removed the fan, the shroud, and the outer belt, you can refer to our other video that gives you all those directions. So when you've got everything all back together, now the thing is you want to top this off. And what we recommend normally is you're going to fill the tank, and you can fill it right up to the bottom of this hose. Basically overfill it, because it's going to be draining back into the system. You're going to let it sit for a while. You're going to see the level drop. You'll top it off, and you probably do this almost 2 or 3 times. And then finally you'll get to the point where you're noticing it's not really dropping all that much. Put the bleeder cap back on, make sure that's snug. You can leave this cap off. Start the vehicle, let it warm up. We want to get that thermostat to open up. Once the thermostat opens, you shut it down, let the vehicle cool down. You're going to see that level all of a sudden just disappear. You're going to top that back off, and you're probably going to want to go do that one more time. You're going to let this thing fully warm up, shut it down, let it cool down, and then recheck the level one more time. It's a complicated system, obviously, so there's a lot of areas where air can hide. You want to make sure you have all the air bled out of the system before you take it on any long trips. So again, when you're ready to change the hoses and the coolant over in your LR3, give a call to any of our knowledgeable salesmen, 1-800-533-2210, and thanks for watching.